Kevin Harvick has been one of the top newsmakers in NASCAR in the last month. It started before the race at Michigan when a reporter asked him about the safety of the new cars.
I don't think you're making enough noise. It's never the first line item on the to-do list. So, I can tell you from a driver, every time I hit something, it's a lot harsher than any hit that I took in any of the other cars. The only thing I can compare it to is hitting a concrete wall compared to what it used to be. So, I think that's the issue. It's not, you look at the cars and they're like, oh man, they look great. That's the problem. Nothing flew off of it, right? That's the problem, and all that energy is absorbed through you. So it feels like you get hit by the hammer and the car survives, but is that really what you want? Like, you know what I mean? So, I think, the cars are all together and that looks great, but it doesn't feel great. Did you get it?
The next day, Harvick put all of the safety talk behind him when he went out and snapped his 65-race winless streak and, more importantly, clinched a berth in the playoffs. The following week at Richmond, he did it again. In a matter of 2 weeks, he had gone from a driver some began to suggest might never win again to a potential favorite in the playoffs. Last week in the first round of those playoffs, Harvick was having a solid race running in the top 10 late in the race when, out of nowhere, flames began surrounding his car. In a matter of seconds, the car was engulfed. After his night came to an unexpected and disappointing end, the driver spoke with reporters and didn't hold back.
We just keep letting cars burn up, letting people crash into stuff, get hurt. Like, we don't fix anything. Now we just riding around out there and the car catches on fire, so just hurts.
Your attitude at this point, obviously, you've been frustrated anyway, but how it affects your race.
Yeah, well, they don't care. It's cheaper to not fix it.
NASCAR Senior Vice President of Competition Scott Miller appeared as a guest on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio earlier this week and suggested the driver made his comments during an emotional time, and what he had to say was far from the truth. A day after Miller's remarks, NASCAR sent a rule update out to the teams, allowing them to make changes to the cars to prevent future rubber buildup and the risk of more fires. That quick action caught Harvick's attention. Great week for the sport. No more fires and a badass all-star race location, Harvick tweeted. Now let's be aggressive and get to work on fixing the front, rear, and side impacts for the driver's safety. On Saturday, before the second race of the playoffs at Kansas, Harvick held court with reporters, where he revisited Darlington, his car catching on fire, and NASCAR's response.
Why is the Kevlar burn, Bob? Why is the foam melt? Do we know those answers?
I would think they
because they're not as fire retardant as they should be. The only reason I stopped this weekend is because the flames were coming inside the freaking car. Because it used to all be steel right there, and you look at the foam. All the foam it looks like a marshmallow. So, I think now it's all coated with the coating that we presented 2 months ago. That doesn't catch on fire on the right side of the car. So, like I say, things have progressed, and we are here today. But it can't be that slow. There's just no reason. It's not fair to the drivers to be compromised like we are right now and not have at least a progress plan. And it's not just a rear clip. It's a front clip, a rear clip, side. Every hit hurts.
When the Athletics' Jeff Gluck asked about a solution, the driver interrupted.
Well, they could do something in the off-season.
I don't know what the solution is, but I know it needs to be way faster. And if you start in the off-season, it's going to be a complete cluster to try to get it done before the Clash. So where are we headed here? Like, what's the plan? Every driver in here is tired of hitting the wall and having it hurt, tired of hitting a car at 20 miles an hour and rearing into somebody and having your Hans lock out. The data, your filtered data may say that it's the same, but it's not the same. It's just time to listen to the driver and stop worrying about the data. So
Harvick was then asked about his thoughts on an independent body in charge of overseeing the safety and implementing the changes.
I don't know. I just know that when it falls into safety, it has to be taken out of the hands of how much it costs. And we're looking at it. That can't be the answer. Like, what's the, if you have 4 or 5 guys from teams, and we all have people that analyze parts and analyze the data and analyze the crashes, and implement new ideas to solve problems. All the top teams have that. And, if you get those guys involved and you have somebody from NASCAR and somebody from the RTA, but, they can listen, that's fine. But there needs to be an independent group that helps speed up this process and understand, how it tells the teams in NASCAR how we're going to implement this to fix the safety side of it, because safety has to fall before cost, right? And it doesn't right now.
When Fox's Bob Pockris asked if Harvick would consider stepping away from the sport because the cars are unsafe, the 2014 champion had a specific concern in mind.
I think that the biggest concern right now is you have another Kurt Busch situation. Like if we just keep letting it go, like why do we want that situation?
Kevin Harvick has been around NASCAR for 2+ decades. As he said to the media, he lived it the last time around, when NASCAR was reactionary to safety issues and saw how it resulted in the deaths of multiple drivers, including Dale Earnhardt, who Harvick replaced in 2001. To his credit, the veteran driver is leading the way and doing his part to make sure a tragedy like that never happens again.